Yo, what's going on, people? We in lovely outside, chilling. Back for another week, man. Nomtombout Radio, NOMTOMBOUT. Make sure you check us out each and every Wednesday, 91.7 WVXU. Also check us out on Radio Artifact, ticket.com. We're going to be there each and every Wednesday, 11 a.m. You need to meet us there, man. Roll out of the bed, wipe the coal out your eye. Thief, who's this page be? A what? Yeah, man. Back for another week. I am 6.
Yeah, and I am Vibe 1. Peace and love to everybody on the KY side. Y'all know how I got to do. Shout out to Covington, Newport, Erlanger, Florence, Burlington, Campbell County, Bellevue, Ludlow, all surrounding areas. Peace and love to the Natty. We back once again, y'all. Yes, sir.
And we are back with a special guest, man.
Very.
This dude, like I say, man, he keep evolving. He always active in some form or fashion. Chameleon out here in the game, been doing it for a long time, and we got a special guest. And I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Peace, world. How y'all feel out there? It's your boy, Kool Ken, Zone 15 Productions, in the building today. Actually, we outside today. Just pleased to be here with Blaze 6 and Vibe 1. It's an honor. These are good, not only artists in the industries, but I also consider them friends. They've been doing work within the industry as well. So both very talented gentlemen we got here. So it's an honor to be here with you guys.
No doubt. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes, merci, man. We like to talk to people who move culture, who stay busy, who out here on the scene, man, and you always seem to stay relevant in some form or fashion. But a lot of people don't know from our audience, or a lot of people might not know who you are or what you've done. So I want you to start back. You talked about Zone 15, but where exactly did you come from?
I'm from Lincoln Heights, also known as Zone 15. Born and raised Cincinnati. Had the opportunity to travel, play sports, every sport you can think of on a high level. I shouldn't say every sport you can think of. I'll break it down for you. So
underwater basket weaving.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we're going to go ahead and get this right. So started out playing football, baseball, basketball. And then I got into the sport of wrestling and running track. And coaching. I'm a coach also. I'm actually the current head varsity wrestling coach at Princeton High School. Very proud of that. I've been in the automobile industry for many years too. So if you need a vehicle,
holla at your boy.
You know what I'm talking about? Buy your cars from Kool Ken. You know what I'm talking about?
And as you can see, he just skipped like 20 years of content that he didn't tell us about. I want to know, first of all, you talked about these sports, but these sports led to another career. I want to talk about when you used to punch people, man.
Hey. That's a whole different story. So, yeah, MMA world also. But my main love always has been music. I got that love from my mom. My mom, she always listened to music. My grandparents listened to music. My cousin, rest in peace, DM. A lot of people know my cousin Donnie. He was a guitarist, musician in the Cincinnati area, traveled, did so much stuff within the music industry. And I came up listening to that and being around music all my life from a kid and all the way up to today. I have a daughter, Kennedy P. She does music with me from time to time. We actually got a little song. It's called Ready to Eat. So when you speak of me being a chameleon, I like to do positive stuff, you know, uplifting stuff, just to try to show a balance in the music. There's all type of music out there, all types of genres within the genre, but I do believe in balance, and that's what I try to do. I try to bring some balance to this industry.
So balance out the story, because you kind of always skipping over I'm not going to say you just were out here recklessly punching people, but you were in an organized sport of UFC.
Yes. I did some MMA. And like I said, we're talking about music right now. That's part.
But that's an intriguing part of the story. Would be like, man, if he can punch people real hard, I know he probably got a 16 on him.
Stop the violence.
Yeah, stop the violence,
Or
bro.
else. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what I think is funny? A couple years ago, Adrian Bronner had what was it, Punching for Peace?
Uh-huh.
I just think that's funny to me, man. That's like saying, let's go have sex in the name of abstinence.
Right.
Punching for peace. That's
Punching
always
for
been
peace.
funny to me, man.
Right. There is, it's a method to the madness, in order to be, have discipline, that confidence, that discipline in that sport of wrestling and martial arts. It allows me to stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get involved in a lot of stupidity because I know where it leads to. Yep. So that discipline and that skill set that I've had, that I was able to be taught and learn and master, it's allowed me to move peacefully. Wherever I go. I go everywhere. I travel by myself a lot of times. And I'm not a big guy. You know what I mean? But I treat people the way I want to be treated. I'm respectful to others, and I mind my own business. You know what I mean? But
Let me add to funny, not a funny story, but unique story is when I first started getting cool with Blaze's bandmate Jay Skills. Skills would say to me, he said to me at least 3 times, he was like, Vibe, I need to introduce you to Kool Ken. And I was like, okay, not knowing that I was familiar with your face, but I just wasn't familiar with the name or nothing, like your name or anything, all right? And I was like, why you say that? He said, man, because he's just a humble, peaceful dude, and he do a lot of positive stuff. His music be positive, and y'all remind me of each other. I was like, well, okay, cool, well, set it up so I can meet him, or matter of fact, I'm going to look him up. So when I first looked you up on Facebook, just so happened that day that I looked you up, you had posted some fight of one of your fights or whatever.
Man, we're going to keep coming back to this?
I ain't going to ask him a question on it. I'm just going to how we parallel and kind of like it was meant for us to meet, kind of like. So because that's my background. My background is basketball. I played little football. I played baseball when I was little, but basketball was my thing. I took karate. I fought a lot as a youngster, got a lot of trophies and all that. But what he's saying about the discipline is so spot on, because that particular sport, more than any other, probably boxing as well, it teaches you that discipline, because you already know what you can do. You don't walk. See, people that don't know what they can do, all they have is their fear, and then the ego jumps in the fear to make them act like they tougher than they are. They the ones that somewhere always running their mouth. Oh no, we want to do this, want to do that. When you know what you can do, and you know that if this thing starts, it could end bad for all of y'all. Even though it's just me here, all 4 of y'all, it could end bad for y'all. So you carry yourself a different way. And it's one where you're trying to come with peace 3 to 4 times before you have to even raise your voice with somebody. And so when I saw that, and then I caught on, then I was listening to the music, I was like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. I gotta meet him. I gotta link with him, and just let him just say peace to him. You know what I'm saying? And if we could do some type of some music or something together, then that would be great. And then so we ended up meeting, communicating, and we ended up doing a really, really dope song that ended up coming out on one of my projects. It's going to end up coming out on his next project as well. So I just wanted to add on to what he was saying about the we still on audio. We're going to get this camera together. I just wanted to add on to that to like, second what he was saying in terms of the discipline that helps you with everything else you're doing. Like with the music, every other aspect of your life, that stuff helped. And I'm so glad that, one of the few things that I was introduced to from my dad as a youngster was that. Defending myself, and then learning how to basically master yourself to the point where you don't let yourself get too out of control, too out of hand.
And self-defense doesn't always require a weapon.
Right.
Sometimes the best form of self-defense is simply walking away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just back up. You got it, man. And
Yeah.
then you get to go home.
Exactly.
With your family, you don't have to worry about going to jail
Right.
or worse.
Right.
And those are the things I like to teach. I try to teach the kids, It's tough, what I mean? Nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in fights as a kid and so forth like
Mhm.
that. I'm not an angel. I wasn't, like that. I used to steal on people and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm saying that to say this. It wasn't right. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And thankfully, I was able to get around people who cared about me enough
Right.
to say, hey, man, you can channel that energy in a
A
different
different
way.
way. Yeah.
And that's what allowed me to get into wrestling in 7th grade, go through high school, be a 2-time state placer, in the state, wrestled in college for a little bit. Then I went to the Air Force. I went to the Air Force, and that's when my music got serious.
Oh, okay.
Once I got into the military, I started meeting more people, and people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally met some people actually in Missouri, believe it or not. We're in a military base, and this one guy, he had some equipment. And I was a rapper, I could write, but I never had recorded anything.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So this was back in like 1991, 92.
Okay.
At that point, I hadn't recorded anything yet, officially.
Right.
And so I started to write and trying to really figure out what I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And during this time frame, this is right after Rodney King.
Yeah.
That situation happened. So Arrested Development, Gangstar, of course, Rakim, KRS-One, Nas was just coming on the scene, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was listening to, and I had come up listening to Run DMC, you know. Run DMC has some extremely conscious music too.
Yeah.
They had some fun stuff.
Yeah.
But they had some music that was really thought provoking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what allowed me to write the way I write. Even though I used to listen to Too Short, man, shout out to my boy Zeke, Sean Lewis. He can attest to this story. We would be in the room on my bunk bed. He'd be at the top. I'm on the bottom. I had the music playing all night long. He's like, man, we turn that music off. I'm he's like, why you keep playing the same stuff over and over again? I said, that's how you learn the lyrics.
Learn the lyrics, yeah.
So I would know every lyric to every song, and still to this day, it's so much music out there that I listen to. With me being a DJ, also,
right?
I'm a true walking billboard for hip hop. I've
No
done
doubt.
it all, from breakdancing, DJing, MCing, graffiti, all of that, and then the knowledge aspect. Hey, I would, you know what I'm talking about? I would do it, but unfortunately, some nails up here and stuff. So,
right.
But but seriously, I used to do it all, and but that one thing, knowledge is what really, really intrigued me, because I wanted to be honest, and tell the truth. Everybody's not a dope dealer. Everybody, and it's so ironic how everybody now in the industry, or at least what's portrayed, everybody's got the same story.
Yeah.
That same story gets a little bit old.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to expand upon those stories, to at least make it more realistic and talk about something different. There's more to life than what they show on TV. Everything ain't a movie. Sometimes we got to go to sleep sometimes. You got to wake up. You got to brush your teeth. Nobody talk about that stuff, but I do.
Got to. You got to. To be a well-rounded artist and consider yourself a well-rounded artist. That's one thing. A lot of people not even considering themselves. They just jumping on the wave. Yeah, I can rap. I can put some words together. I was poor. I used to get out here and get the money the hard way.
It's so many hours in a day, man. It's so many stories that you live out, man. Because the best, whether you like it or not, the best artists are people who know how to tell a story.
Yeah.
like, and it's so vivid that you can see it in your own head.
Right.
The greats is all storytellers. Biggie, Pac, these people who could tell a vivid story. It don't always have to be the same story over and over, man. Especially if you're not even living that life. What do you think about rappers who portray a certain image but don't live it, but you still have people following the image that you out there portraying?
I just think that it causes confusion, you know.
Especially if you're an influencer.
Yeah, if you're an influencer, you're not aware of how influential you are. These kids literally look up to you, and they're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. Because I did. Like I said, I just told you how I would sleep all night, you know, listening to Too Short, you know, or Run DMC, or, you know, I would have it playing all night and to learn these lyrics. But the one thing I didn't do, I didn't live it like that, you know what I mean? Because I did understand. I didn't want to go to jail. I knew that. You know, I knew right from wrong. So I knew that I didn't want to do exactly what Too Short was talking about, because I was listening to Run DMC too, because I had balance. So I had some knowledge, you know, and then I had some fun stuff, you know, like I could listen to Run DMC or Public Enemy. I can listen to that in front of my mother or my grandfather. You know, I can listen to that.
Still recording?
But Too Short and 2 Live Crew and NWA, you know, I kind of had to.
It's got its time and its place.
Yeah,
Everything
it's got its time and its place, you know. Yeah. And I love it. You know, I love hip hop. I love the stories. But it was certain stories that I could only listen to on my own, you know. And it wasn't that I was afraid, you know. I just didn't want to. Killing somebody didn't intrigue me. I didn't see how that made sense. Going to jail, I didn't want to glorify that. But I understood it, because I knew people from my neighborhood that was involved in it.
And that's kind of what I was hinting at when I kept talking about the fighting stuff. It's just like, you talk about balance. And a lot of people don't know, to fight, that the best fighters, you can't be emotional when you're fighting. Right. It's like, it's a way to do it. It's not all just sporadic emotions and stuff like that. And it take balance and it take discipline.
Yeah, they teach you how to breathe and how to be calm and disciplined, because there's going to be a time, like in a fight, if you get punched in the face, I mean, a fight is not, like in a street fight lasts, 15, 30 seconds, a couple punches, one person gets punched, the other person don't punch back because he's never been hit before. So he don't know how to, he's not disciplined in that. And so he's scared and he's fighting off of an adrenaline. To whereas once you train to fight, you get hit and then you hit back. You know what I mean? And it's teaching you to stand up for yourself. So that's why you better leave people alone, because you never know, you might get punched back. And
some people get hit and take a bowel movement on themselves. Right. Sometimes.
Start running. Now, you hit me, I might take off, because I ain't trying to get shot, dog. You know what I mean? I'm calling the police on you, for real.
I'm calling. And he pointed at the camera, so you know it's real, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some good officers out there who family members and so forth. And that's another story that's going on right now.
Definitely.
In the world, where we're fighting amongst each other. You know, so much division. Our society is so corrupt in how they divide us all. We're divided by schools, by neighborhoods, by the color of your skin, by your religion, by zip code,
by everything.
And then they throw the police in there. And
I feel like the mental thing now, where they're throwing the mental illness, is trying to divide your mind into fighting itself, so you can't even focus on trying to like bring something to fruition.
Right. The mental illness aspect of it is real. You know, and that's something that's not spoken about because it's taboo. You know, nobody wants to be considered, I hate to say the word, but crazy. Nobody wants to be considered that.
Everybody crazy, man.
Yeah, we all crazy in our own ways. You know, we all have issues.
They labeling emotions as mental illnesses to numb you into not feeling nothing. So you just walk around being either a zombie or a savage.
And that's something that's a good point. 'Cause coming up, you know, I didn't cry. You know what I mean? It was times when I got a whooping. You better not cry. You know what I mean? And
How confusing is that as a kid
yeah,
to
that's
hear that?
confusing. Like that's
To inflict pain.
Yeah, that's hurting. But you know, you can't cry. You might have that one little tear come down or whatever, but you ain't gonna cry. And that's something still that I struggle with today. You know, a lot of times it's a situation that's serious that you know I laugh because you know I didn't know how to the emotions. I didn't know how to connect with that emotion. You know, I remember we were watching a movie Color Purple, and my mom was there, right?
I don't mean to laugh, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was a sad movie, man. It was, as an adult now looking back at it, that was so terrible. But at the time, at the time when I was a kid,
Thanks, man. Can you make sure it's still recording too? Cause
at the time as I was a kid, it was some parts I thought was funny, you know.
like which parts? Because some parts was legitly funny. I ain't gonna lie, man.
So Celie, you know, and I don't be mad at me, y'all, you know, but you know I'm mature now. But at the time when I was a kid, you know, Celie, you know, everybody was watching Color Purple. Mr. bought Celie home, you know, and he said, hey, here's your new mammy. Right. And was it Harpo? Was a kid. Harpo was a little kid at the time, right? Harpo was like, she ain't none of my mammy, and hit her in the head with a rock.
With a rock, man.
That was so, it's terrible. But at the time, I was a kid and I saw it. I bust out laughing. You know, I was like, ah! My mama was heated. You know, my mom was like, that is not funny. What's wrong with you? You laughing? I couldn't understand why it wasn't funny to her. But I understand now.
Yeah, the context around it, you having to be, you pretty much being bought and having to live with somebody, and then the first encounter with some kids you really don't want to deal with after your kid had been taken away. It's deep.
That's a deep movie, man.
It is.
You sure is ugly. Oh, man.
Our movies show the epitome of sadness. Like Tyler Perry, Oprah. What do you think about that image that get put out there now? Like, are you tired of slave movies? Are you tired of seeing the oppressed, battered, defeated version of us? I don't think we need to see that no more.
It's been shown. How many times you gonna show it? Yeah. You know what I mean? We already know that we were slaves. And I'm tired of that story. It's like I'm tired of the same gangster stories. It's other stories are out there, you know, that can be told that can actually uplift us. We've been through a lot. You know, I'm tired. Everybody's tired. During this COVID situation, we've been on lockdown. This has given us a lot of time to think and to prepare. And that's one thing that we need to do is organize as a people. Come together as one, unite for righteousness, not towards just going burning stuff down. There's a time and a place for that too. But
I think that was essential to the story though, so they know like we will burn this down.
Right.
Now we're gonna try to get these like they saying tangibles out of you again, but I like they know that it can happen. I think some people needed to see that.
But our elders, they've already been through that, man.
Yeah.
And so I feel so bad for them, you know, to live through the same stuff over and over again, and then to have new generations. Like I got an 11-year-old daughter who has to witness this stuff, and I feel bad because I feel that, you know, I dropped the baton somewhere. You know, my era, you know, I think we could have done better, and that's where we got to come together. That's why I did a video called Boys in Blue, How Many More Part 2.
Yeah.
And it was a peaceful protest. It wasn't no actors or anything. I did a pop-up video shoot. I said, I want you guys, everybody to come out. I gave people like hours notice, and it was tough to pull off, but we had like 50 or 60 people there, and it was a success in my eye, because what we did, we went and protested. Sometimes when you protest, you don't necessarily have to tear anything down. You just unite with others, like-minded people, and then share your message. And we did it in art form, because that's what we do. You know, we're intelligent people.
Yeah.
We're artistic, and we're creative. And I chose to create this video, and now it makes me happy to see that other people are doing it too. Mm-hmm. You know, Lil Baby has one out right now that I commend him. You know what I mean?
He might be the most. This is like off on a tangent, but he might be the most improved rapper in like the last 5 years, content wise.
Yeah, I like what the younger guys are doing, as long as they bring some legitimate content. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can do the crazy stuff too, but have a balance to it. You got to have some balance, because these kids are listening to you.
That's when you take it from. That's when you take it from where it's hip. You can have hip hop, and then you have rap. A lot of people can rap. A lot of people can put words together and make themselves come up with whatever type of fantasy lifestyle or image or whatever that you want. But if you're saying that you represent hip hop, then you have to be hip, which means you come to an understanding of what's going on in your surroundings. You know the good, the bad, the indifferent, or whatever that's going on around you. So once you get that information and you start putting it into your music, you have to hop to it. You got to take what you learn and put it into action. So it could be, if you're not an artist, but you represent the hip hop culture because you were born within the time frame that it was birthed, and you consider yourself a part of the hip hop community. Whatever it is that you do, you have to do it with a purpose. You have to do it with some type of humility and something that's beyond your ego, something that's beyond you. Rap is about you spitting or saying whatever it is. Hip hop is about you giving of yourself, giving of your time, giving of your talent and your energy,
paying rent to the culture almost.
Exactly. That's like when I just did a rally a couple of days. Last week when y'all see this, with Ronald Hummins. And I was gonna go to the rally anyway, but he wanted me to perform. So I'm like, okay, what will I perform? What will I perform? And I was gonna do 2 songs, but the way the situation was set up, you know, sometimes the sound don't be you don't have what you need. So I'm not gonna force it, but I'm gonna do the most important song out of the 2 songs that I felt. But the first song I was gonna do was called Hip Hop, and I was gonna correlate hip hop from rap. And so that they would be like, well, why is he singing a song about hip hop about this? Because hip hop is supposed to be a community type of thing. It's coming from a disenfranchised sector of the community throughout the United States and now in the world, to where you have to speak about something that has some type of meaning, that holds some type of weight, versus rap. You know what I'm saying? And then the second song was going to be She Power. And my point to She Power is his movement that he's working his build on is called childhood trauma. It's against childhood trauma. So the childhood trauma could start when you in the womb. The mom is being disrespected. Like he's told this story, so I will say this. He was born through a rape. So my point to the people when I was talking to him is that we can do all this stuff that we want, protesting the system, the man or whoever, but you can't leave that protest, go home, and then treat your woman like she's less than a dog, call her less than a dog, and whatever. You can't be sex trafficking these women. You can't be grabbing them by the, you know what I'm saying, doing all the crazy stuff that we do because we've been programmed and conditioned to be male chauvinistic, be disrespectful. Just like you talking about the movie Color Purple, they learned it from their masters, and then they brought it to their house and treat. You know what I mean? You take that pain and that hate that was given to you, and if you don't know how to channel it the right way, all you do is spew it on to the next person. So that's what I feel that you do, like effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you come with any video, any song, any message, it's always something that's pertinent to the times and pertinent to what's going on, and it's always authentic and true to who you shown yourself to be before I met you, and who you shown yourself to be from the beginning, the first time I met you, all the way up to now. So that's hip hop, man. That's not rap. That's not trying to be a superstar. That's not trying to be none of that, because we still doing it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You about to be 50. Right. I'm about to be 48. Right. The youngster here, when he's in his 30s, we still, he could have stopped. We could have stopped doing this a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But we might be doing all these other different things. You coaching, you selling cars. I'm teaching poetry, a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we ain't giving up the music, because that's kind of like the thing that keeps that's your sanity sometimes.
And it's therapeutic.
Therapeutic.
When I sit down and write, and I put that in a song too. I think about other people, and music was a conduit to share with what was going on.
Exactly.
It's almost like the news,
right?
And it gave us a voice to share information. You share information through song, through your lyrics, and your lyrics are extremely powerful. And you got to choose what words you want to use. And some people don't realize that. And I know how powerful words can be.
Right.
And just being honest, people are afraid of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason why you haven't heard of me. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? It's a reason why, I don't get 1 million views in 2 or 3 days. It's a reason for that. Because if I did, it will really contribute to change.
Right.
And people are afraid to change. They don't want us to wake up. They want us to be zombies as long as possible.
Right.
But our people are waking up.
Our people are waking up, but I don't feel like it's always a systematic thing of they don't want us to wake up. Sometimes if you play a positive song in front of people, they be like, turn that off. Yeah. I'm trying to jig to I don't know. I pop pills. I pop pills. Hey, I don't have to be accountable for sex. Whoa, like it's just so much stuff. Like a lot of times, I guess it does come back to a systematic, because we just been listening to the same thing.
It's a learned
that it's
thing.
not that the real is not even attractive to you or no more. Sometimes,
hip hop didn't promote drugs. Hip hop didn't do that. And you had guys that were actually doing drugs. They were doing drugs while they were writing rhymes, but it was behind the scene. Like, they didn't bring that out to the forefront.
Who was the guy?
It wasn't me. I didn't do that, but but it was many. There were many artists who did it. I can't speak on the names because I wasn't there. I never saw it. I didn't witness it, so I can't speak on it as far as exactly who did it, but I know that LL Cool J wrote a book. You know what I mean? And I never thought that he did drugs, but he said that in the book.
LL Cool J did drugs?
He said it in the book.
What kind of drugs?
I don't know. You got to read the book.
Dang, he was out here shooting H?
Nah, he wasn't doing no H or nothing like that. But, people, they smoked weed. They did some cocaine and whatnot. Yep. And that was at the beginning of the dope game. Once crack hit the scene and all that stuff, people started going crazy, man. Unfortunately, like DMX, as talented as he is, he talks about his issues that he has, and that's a talented brother right there. You know what I'm saying? He got bars.
But it's like, no matter how attractive the truth is, resources are more attractive to people without resources. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of people who put their integrity on the line to get a resource just because you don't have it. Whereas if you got, let's say we talk about money, if you got more money, then you can kind of sit back from your decisions and be like, I choose to do this, not even for money, just because that's where my heart lies. But you worrying about food, clothing, and shelter, sometimes your mind can't even wrap around that far. You need food, clothing, and shelter. I'm willing to do anything to get this money. And that's what they see a lot of times as being a kid. You don't see everything that this rapper is doing on the back end. You see a chain that's worth money, so you want that valuable material resource.
But that's part of the system, like you just said.
I think that's something that can be taught at home, though.
But when you have like we've all come from 3 different backgrounds, right? And we're able to speak. You can understand us, you know what I mean? And we come up the same neighborhoods. Like next door, you could live literally next door to a crack house, right? Literally next door.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to school with somebody who shot somebody yesterday. And it's all about what's inside of here, though.
Yeah.
It's about heart. It's about what happens at home. Because in my house, that stuff's not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But next door, they can do whatever they want to do. I got to walk next door, and I got to be able to, again, be humble but confident. Mm-hmm. Not be afraid. Because these are my neighbors. These are people I go to school with. You know? You're not scared in your own neighborhood, you know? But we don't live the exact same way. But we're all still labeled the exact same way. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the system. You know, they want to give, like, you live in the hood. My father has a good job. But we live next door. Your father doesn't have a good job. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we got to respect each other and help each other. And that's what we used to do. We used to help. You know, we weren't uppity and didn't speak to our neighbors or anything like that. Now, we might not have gone in their houses and stuff like that, you know, because you still do have to have your boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, it's a respect because of humanity. You want to treat people as the way you want to be treated.
What would you say before you get that mic up? And because I know Vibe got something. What would you say to a kid who, in these times, it's so many distractions, so many things that they're trying to take your attention and lead it down a certain path? What would you say to a kid that's kind of toggling, vacillating between, should I follow this path? I don't really know what path I'm supposed to be on, but you see these examples. How do you find yourself and get your bearings in that type of situation? Maybe if you don't have good leadership at home because mom is working a couple jobs, dad ain't there, whatever the case may be, how do you get your bearings to be you and not afraid to be you?
It's hard to do it alone.
Yeah.
That's where the mentorship comes into play. That's where the coaches, that's where the teachers, that's where the brothers, neighborhoods come together, because there's some kids out there that need you. They need us. And we have to allow them and let them know that we're there for them, because they're not going to ask. You know what I mean? We know who the kids are, and you just got to go pick them out. You got to encourage them. You got to push them towards something positive. If you see them straying, you go ahead and tell them, hey, let's go over here. You know, you don't have to go down that road. But if a kid, if that's all he knows from the time he was born, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, he hasn't been around anything but alcohol and drugs, 9 times out of 10, that's what he's going to do. But I've also seen it on the flip side, too. I've seen where you got somebody just like what the example I just portrayed, and they have a brother. They have like 4 older brothers. And then that youngest one, he don't go to prison.
He got the most sense.
He got the most sense because he's seen it happen, and he don't want to do that. He don't want to follow those footsteps because he knows where it leads to. And it's tough for us out here, man. You know, it's really, really tough. Like I said, my era, my generation, I want to apologize to the younger ones out there, because we could have did more. You know, I know me, I left. I tried to go to college, and I went to the Air Force, and I left my neighborhood. And when I came back, it was way different. And I think, you know, with us leaving, because we try so bad to get away, because we want to do better instead of making where we are better.
Right.
You know, we can come right back home,
right,
or stay home and make it better where we are. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that until later in life, actually. You know, I moved to New York City, and I'm in Brooklyn, New York, you know, and Harlem, Queens, and I'm in these areas that, as a kid coming up, now granted, some areas up there is different because of gentrification.
Right.
But then there are some areas that are still like the project's still gonna be the projects.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Marcy is still Marcy.
Right.
And to be able to go there and witness it and see it with my own eyes and say, okay, if I can be in New York and make a positive difference and helping people up here, this is, you got to do that for your community as well.
Exactly.
So that's one of my goals is to try to help uplift Lincoln Heights, because we got some great people that came out of there, and each and every last one of us are from whatever communities that we're from. We can't forget our communities. You always got to make sure you go back home to help. Definitely. And that's one thing. That's why I do apologize, because I was trying to get mine, and I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught to stay here. It wasn't taught to. You can go to college. I was taught to do that. You're supposed to reach for the stars, but you're supposed to come back too. And that's why I'm back in Cincinnati.
You back now though.
Yeah, I've been back for a while.
You can't fill up nobody's cup with yours half empty, so you gotta go get whatever knowledge, culture.
And I bring it back. I always leave. I leave. I've left several times, but I come back.
Right.
You know what I mean? I grow. When you leave, you grow.
Right.
You're able to network, meet more people, and you come back. Say, boom, this is what I got. This is what we can do.
Yeah.
We can change, and it's about change. And I'm at that age now to where I don't have a lot of time for BS. So I'm not involved in no stupidity. My outlook is for the betterment of us as a people.
Exactly.
And I know so many good people, man, out there, y'all included. And with us, we can build. We can truly build and truly do some things that can uplift us. We do need some leadership out there, and I prefer to find somebody that can represent us all well. I'll be a soldier. I don't want to necessarily be the leader.
Right.
But I'll be that one good soldier. You're only as good as your weakest link.
Exactly.
And if we all strong, and I'm a good coach and a good recruiter, I'm gonna find somebody that can really, really help us and point us in the right direction. So
no doubt. And just piggybacking off of what you were saying when you left and you come back and the situation it feels, and sometimes it actually is worse than when you left. And I left and went to Columbus, and all I kept hearing from my neighborhood that so and so went to got caught. They did a sweep this week. Got 10 of them. Such and such got killed. Such and such got shot. And I'm like, in little bitty old Covington? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is going on? Like, yeah, we had fights. Yeah, a couple people, every 10-something years, maybe somebody got shot. But it was over something it was a grown person, for one. It might have been over somebody messing with somebody's woman. Right. It wasn't this thing to where they had started dividing the streets in the small neighborhood and saying these are gang members, these are Bloods, these are Crips, and one will be a brother of the other one. So I'm hearing all this like, what are they doing? But I had to leave because there wasn't really a lot of hip hop going on in Covington, and I wasn't really introduced to what was going on in Cincinnati at that point in time. So I went to Columbus, and that was like my college years of, like, I went to Columbus and went straight into performing, straight into opening up for all the people you were just mentioning, the legendary hip hop artists and some R&B people and all that, just getting all of this information and all of this experience to bring back. 2 years later, we come back. Everything is different, just like you're saying. So it's like you're trying to figure out, wow, we were already felt like the outcast. We always had respect, but we were living there, but we wasn't of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So people would, if somebody was doing something that was kind of wild, if we was within the vicinity, they would probably stop. Hey, chill that down. Hey, how y'all doing, bro? Peace. Saying, greeting us in ways they don't greet each other. Right. Peace, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, because they knew that's what we were on. And we garnered the respect through the things that we did, which was sports. We were really good on the hoop court. We won a lot of of games, a lot of street games where there's hundreds of people out watching.
And you still hoop?
Oh yeah.
Well, I shoot my shoot my layups from 3-point line. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, yo, and then before all this, we was trying to get a game together. The OGs with the young G's. Me and Siri Monty, she had her team. I was getting my team together. But all this happened. So hopefully at some point, because it was a lot of smack talking and all that.
Open, man.
It's still we gonna still get that on.
I was one of the baddest.
Perpin.
Actually bad or bad?
No, I was actually bad. Like I was one of the baddest. Trashiest. But you don't want it with these words, my brother. We talk about trying to make the right decisions and everything like that. My bad. You done?
No.
I didn't want to.
No, I was just going, like second what he was saying, because that's how it was. You come back, it's like, what is going on? It's like, is where you was at? It don't look the same no more.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I was gonna add is that Boys in the Hood came out. Whatever those first 3 so-called hood movies came out, and when I came back, they were trying to be that. The people in the community with Colors was the first one. They were trying to be that, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, this ain't what we do. It just got crazy.
And you got to be careful what you make look cool,
right,
or attractive, because people gonna want to make it happen for themselves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now we done made all this noise with protests, record amount of people out protesting here, overseas, but November is coming. How do you decide between two evils? Joe Biden has showed his true colors. He didn't let him slip out, even though did you see the videotape back in 1980?
Nah.
Where Joe Biden was pretty much talking about, like, black people, we need to get them off the street, regardless of how their situation was made. Yeah, we might have had our hands dirty into making them the people they are now because they're fighting for resources, but they still need to be taken off the street because you don't want them hitting your mother in the head with a lead bat or raping your sister. He was said these things back in 1980. And then to be the running mate with Barack Obama, they come around when they need to vote, and then they abandon us. So to avoid us going through the same thing again, who do you think we should choose as a president? Because we're looking for leadership. I don't think no white man can really be leadership for a black nation. So I feel like we need to come up with a write-in on the ballot. But what do you think as far as, like, the voting? If y'all want to switch
on voting, on the voting situation, that's a touchy subject with me because I know that's our right. You know, they say, "Are you supposed to vote?" Because our people, they died for the right to vote. However, unfortunately, our votes aren't counted the way they're supposed to be. They have an electoral college, and that's part of the systemic stuff that we're talking about earlier. That's all tied into it. So once we're able to change that process, then maybe we'll get some legitimate change and our votes will be counted. But before we're able to do that, we're going to have to groom. Like I said, we have to get some leadership. There was a time when we had Martin Luther King Jr., when we had Malcolm X, when we had even Jesse Jackson, back in the day. But he turned out to be corrupt as well. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is that you got to find somebody who can't be bought, somebody who's not going to sell out, because that's the first thing that they do. They come to the table with big money,
right?
To change it. You can start out, you're very righteous and you're for your community, you're for your people, you're for the world, you're for unity, you're for equality, you're for all of those elements. But then they say he was poor. You know what I mean? He ain't got no money, so let's get him some things, and that's where we have to be able to say no, and then not be afraid. Like I said, it's crazy out here because once you get up to a certain level, the government, the way we live, is all derivative of how the government is structured. So classism, exactly. So each neighborhood, each crew, each gang, each mafia, everything is like the government.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have a president or a leader. You know, they have the army or the police. You know, every entity has their. It's all set up the same. Until those systems are restructured, that vote ain't gonna matter. I hate to say it, man. It restructures. You got to drain that swamp. That's what they keep talking about. The people at the top, that 1% that's got all the billions and billions and trillions of dollars that are actually running this country, that are making us jump through hoops to keep us fighting. Once we stop fighting each other, it ain't nothing they can do.
Because that's exactly what I was gonna say. We got to some kind of way, somehow, and it's cliche like a mug, we have to come together. Period. Beyond any other bull crap that we let get in between us, because you can have everybody going well. And this doesn't just even apply to people of color. But since we're talking about people of color, we all three could be on our thing. It could be three other people, and we coming up with we having meetings. Because you got to police your own hood. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure the kids. But you can have the most petty thing come in and mess everything up. I used to go. I go with his ex-girl. Right. He ain't through loving her. Problem. Right. You take that back to the biblical times or wherever. The flesh, all that's anything that can knock you down, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get to a point. We have to get to a point where we treating each other, but we so far behind. Because, you know, all these different presidents have been in office and doing all this stuff, but still, every time somebody comes from overseas, whether it's a certain Asian group or a certain any type of foreigner, they still got they store on the corner. They still got their gas station. They still circulating their money within each other 4 to 5 times, 6 times before it goes out of their community.
You're not going to Little Italy or Little Koreatown and setting up a soul food restaurant.
Exactly.
It's not gonna happen.
Exactly. But we things hit.
The reason why that happens is because we don't own anything. So you got to get some ownership. Without ownership. Like we have to own our own shop, so the other people, other nationalities, people, other ethnicities, they're able to move into what's considered your neighborhood, which isn't your neighborhood because
you don't own what do you own in it.
You know, so they come in and set up shop, and then you got to buy from it, you know, because it's close, it's convenient. So instead of putting your money there, we need to invest in yourself. You got to invest into your own hood. You got to get your grocery stores. You got to get your own dry cleaners. You got to get your own bank or credit union. You get these things are necessary in order to able to come out of this stuff. It's been done before, and we as a people have been afraid. We're afraid because our ancestors were bombed. You know what I mean? They tore their neighborhoods
Black
up.
Wall Street.
You know, Black Wall Street. You know, Rosewood, even Lincoln Heights. Lincoln Heights was the only and first black municipality, first black city, you know, above the Mason-Dixon line, right here in Ohio, Lincoln Heights, Ohio. That's where I'm from. So we had, being a city, a municipality means that you have a mayor, that you have your own police department, own fire department, city hall. And we had that right there in Lincoln Heights, and that was torn apart because it couldn't be sustained. Since it was a black community, General Electric, when they built General Electric over there, you know, they put the highway through, right? And that was
they always run a highway through the parts today.
That was Lincoln Heights land. So that land wasn't sold. That land was taken. It was taken, and so they turned to Evendale. And even with that being said, all the way to this day, it's affecting us because right now in Lincoln Heights, they call the part of it Evendale. They didn't call it Evendale, but they have a shooting range right in Lincoln Heights right now. You can hear shooting right behind the projects in Lincoln Heights, man, and it's not inside of an enclosed building or anything. The facility is not enclosed. You can hear all the shooting. The shooting can actually go through the fencing. It's not cool. And
That's
Cincinnati
crazy.
police is actually there, like right now, shooting. So you're in the hood, right? And what picture does that paint? You hear all these gunshots.
To the point you numb to it.
Right. So you don't know what's going on. You hear gunshots all day long in Lincoln Heights. And it's up to us, like I said, it's with education. And that's why, you know, everybody, you hear the term defund the police. A lot of people think that means not giving any money to the police at all. That's wrong. Nope, that's not it.
But definitely not a surplus to be able to run and gun and do everything you need to.
There should not be a budget to buy any tanks for the police. Why? There should not be any budget to buy mass assault rifles. Why? You know, all that money that they're spending on the police, that for the other part of it, you know, before I get into that point, is the blue lives. There's no such thing as a blue life. You know, you put on a blue or black uniform, you know, that's it, but you're not a blue life. And that they need to quit that because you're not different from me. We went to school together, you know?
But people are always looking for either a resource or protection. And it's just like, I'm going to exclude myself from this community and hide behind this protection.
But that's not protection. That's you're a bully now. You can't just, because I'm doing something wrong, I break the rules, I break the law. That don't give you the right to kill me. They give you the right to take me to jail. You got the right to arrest me, to stop me, put my hands behind my back. If I fight back, then you can detain me. But there's absolutely no reason for you to brutalize me. You know what I mean? Because people,
especially if I'm running from you and you shoot me in my back.
yeah, we run.
You gotta run. You should have been getting your training.
And then
Catch me.
and then shooting somebody. They like, oh no, I'm not running. I'm full of free pizza from La Rosa's, man. I've been eating free pizza all day. I'm not running.
It's terrible, and it's happened time and time again. So you had the most recent, just yesterday, 2 days ago now, they killed somebody down in Atlanta.
Rayshard.
I don't even know his name, unfortunately. I apologize at the time.
Yeah.
Because it's so many names. We're
so
just
many.
talking about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, you know. That's crazy to go from that extreme to witness. And I could not watch that video.
I don't
Couldn't
watch
watch
them. I can't
couldn't
watch
watch
them
it.
no more. I don't want to. They want you to be numb to seeing people dying too. Yeah, they trying to instill fear in every way.
That was a
form
lynching.
possible.
That was a lynching. And then they talk about his prior criminal history years and years ago. That has no bearing on what happened. It's BS.
They tried to
Yes,
say George Floyd had COVID. It's just like he had previous conditions that might already made him weak. So like you should be able to take a knee on your neck for more than 9 minutes, but he was in bad shape already. Like
Nothing. I don't know what their so-called training is. If the person has not pulled a weapon on you, there's no need for you to pull a weapon on that person. You need to be trained. When I worked for a place called Youth Incorporated, we used to get kids from 2020, and the spot that used to be out here not too far from where we are, Hillcrest. They used to come from Hillcrest or 2020 and basically spend the last 7 to 10 days of their time. It's kind of like a halfway house per se. We were taught how to deal with these children, de-escalating the situation by calming them down, by talking to them. If he had to get physical, it was a certain hose that we had to learn to put them in, to hold them till the police were called. Never were we told to lean down on their neck or do anything that will harm them. It was always just to block, combat, get them to a place where we can hold them still. And you talking about maybe sometimes one staff to 10 kids, or sometimes 2. Most of the time, it was one of us. So everybody could have jumped you if they wanted to, or anything. You still had the fortitude to have compassion for this child, even though this child was probably bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? We had from 13 to 8 to 17, and I'm short. So if I can figure out a way to hold this guy down without harming him, without feeling like I got to brutalize him, a police officer should be held to the same thing, because that job is way more serious. And if somebody's not shooting at you, somebody's not trying to stab you, there's no reason for you to pull out your gun to shoot him, especially when they running from him. This last brother, he was running from him. And then the thing when you putting if he's already down with his handcuffs, why are you still on him? There's nothing he can do.
Because
if you got a camera, I'm sorry, if I'm not holding no camera, why that's just happening? Oh my God, no! I'm gonna go sickle that cop and take off running to get enough time for him to get some air, and they gotta focus on trying to catch me now. And if I gotta take one, that's just me. Everybody ain't like that. If I gotta take they shooting at me while I'm running, I'm dipping, I'm zigzagging, whatever. I ain't running straight up. I'm not gonna stand there. And I just seen what happened. He didn't. Y'all, it's 4 to 5 to 6 of y'all, whatever, jumping on him.
It was way more.
He don't have no weapon.
Yeah.
He don't have no weapon on him. You just trying to arrest him. It ain't like it's a shootout, because if it's a shootout, we everybody ducking anyway, because we ain't trying to catch no strays. I'm not going to sit there and film it. That's what has to happen, too. We got to stop being scared and stop like, oh, man, they got dude. Nah.
But that's the same effect that a public lynching had back in the day. You do it in front of the people so everybody knows how it's going down, and nobody going to try to go against this power.
Bruh, that happened to my great-grandfather. He was one of the last men hung in Covington, Kentucky, for falsely being accused of raping a Caucasian woman. The Caucasian woman, he was dealing with her on the side. He didn't want to deal with her no more. He broke it off with her. She got mad, lied on him, told the police. Now, what that hanging did is divided the whole city of Covington. There's people that ended up parts of my family ended up moving over here, over to Cincinnati, to get away from it. People in the city was not allowed to talk about it. People, I mean, there's older people that's around my mom and dad's age or whatever. Yeah, we used to ask these questions, and we be in our own house, the privacy of our own house, and we would ask a question about it, and we'd shh, don't be talking about that. Don't even bring that up.
Mission accomplished.
We in there talking to each other. What are you doing? Man. So what you saying is true, but I'm like, at some point, especially everybody that's super religious or praying that you saved or you done took your shahada, you good when you leave this planet anyway. Die for something right then. If it's all like that, and you on your spiritual or religious kick or whatever, if it's all like that, you good with God, then die for something that's positive then. And you are you scared? You scared? It's freedom of death, and people like to say that stuff, but that's what it really is.
That's what it really is.
That's what it really is. And then if somebody does something to somebody, it's got to be certain organizations that deal with stuff. And policing. You don't have the money they took them to court, it didn't work. Okay, what would you like to be done?
Right. I think now that this is happening, defunding the police systems, I think we're gonna see a lot more private security popping up. Where like people privately securing they own black business or they own small business or they own neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be policing a neighborhood where you don't live because you don't have a connection, especially if you're afraid of the people who live there. You already going into the situation in a bad way.
Bad way.
I'm scared of everybody out here because people who look like you used to punch me in high school.
Exactly.
So my hand is on my gun all day anyway.
I know several of them I went to school with.
And Lincoln Heights is not even policed by police anymore. It's sheriffs. Just some information, man. I know we getting kind of deep, man. We're going to lighten the mood a little bit more with the segment I call the K. Riley segment, man. When K. Riley was on the show a couple weeks ago, he asked us a question that boggled our mind. And Guys, still trying to think of the right answers, man. But if you could only listen to 2 songs for the rest of your life, what songs would they be?
Wow.
Right.
So, with that being said, I would listen to 2 of my songs.
I knew it. How many more? And how many more part 2?
Nope. I would listen to, I have a song called It's All Right. And I listen to that song because it's therapeutic, you know, and it hits on a lot of points that help me through my day. Then I have a song called Living As One. And you can check those songs out too. Just, go to Spotify, YouTube, or whatever. Matter of fact, make sure you like Kool Ken Z15. That's on all social media platforms. And just check out some Kool Ken music. But if I had, because you only gave me 2 songs I can listen to, so I got to rock with me, I apologize.
You wouldn't get sick of your own voice after so long?
Nah, I don't.
Okay.
I write it for me. You know what I mean? The radio doesn't play what I want to hear, so I have to write something that I can relate to. Yeah. So I uplift myself.
That's what's up, man.
For real.
That's
I do
definitely.
love Bob Marley too, and Marvin Gaye, and that type of music.
He may give you another answer if you ask it exactly how K. Riley asked it. He said it could be, he said R&B song and a hip hop song, but you was like it wouldn't be R&B. He picked like a gospel song.
Yeah. I mean, he probably say his own songs. This is kind of like a different genre right here, man. This is the gospel.
Right. See, my song, like, it don't have a name to it. So, you can listen to my music in church.
This is the gospel.
You can listen to my music in church. You can listen to it in front of grandma. You can play it anywhere, and that's why I write the way I write. It's versatile.
Speaking of grandmothers, man, what you think about grandmothers being younger and grandmas twerking out here?
Hey, man. Oh, man, yeah, it's crazy, man. I can't really speak on that because, sometimes you got to keep in mind, man, people got that stuff in their own family, so.
It'd be sometimes you look at Instagram, it'd be 3 generations of people twerking. The grandma, the mom, and the daughter, all just twerking, man.
Hey, all I know, like I said, man, to each his own. I ain't watching, depending on how they look, though. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, and we all silly, too. That, gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta have a good personality.
Balance.
Definitely, man. Balance. And I'm definitely proud of y'all, man. And y'all, this kind of reminds me of what I did in New York City.
Just about to get to that, bro.
Yeah, in New York, I had the #1 lunchtime internet radio show in the country. And I was at DTF Radio. I was in the Bronx. I'm tripping. We were in Brooklyn. And I go there every single day. My show was 2 hours long. And it was awesome, man. To be able to connect with so many different artists from around the world, not just in New York City, but we were able to connect and meet so many people that I'm still in contact with today. So this definitely reminds me of that format and platform that I had up there, and I definitely wish you all much success in this. Wish you the best.
And we definitely going to be moving around, too, man, once all the restrictions let up, man, because we got a whole bunch of interviews we can get. We was just talking about that a few days ago, just about how you got to be an Arab, and I ain't saying that derogatory. That word, I believe, means traveler. So you got to be a traveler. You got to get around and spread the gospel, man. It says the gospel.
That's what it is, man.
We about to start using
man. That. It's so crazy, the labels that are put on things, and labels can make you pick it up or walk by it, and you never know what's inside it. So take them labels off and just, try to see what's inside.
Oh, they want some. Take them labels off.
Hey.
Take them labels off.
Hey.
Take them labels off. Oh. Talk more about your experiences during the radio and some of your because you had a relationship with Fred the Godson who just passed.
Rest in peace.
If you can kind of talk about that.
Fred was an extremely good person. I'm not just saying that. It's unfortunate that you talk about people after they've, passed on and so forth. But to tell you a little bit about Fred the Godson, he's probably one of the best MCs that you ain't heard about. And I don't know why he wasn't bigger than what he should have been. But that guy, everybody loved him. But he wasn't a sellout. He did it his way, and unfortunately, he passed away during this COVID situation up in New York City, and we're gonna miss him. I would be in the studio with him every single day. He would come down. So I used to work with the Heat Makers with Arsonist. Peace out, Arsonist. We were in Diamond District Studios. I was studio manager up there, and Fred was working with Arsonist. So he would be in there every single day. Every day. And I never met anybody who spoke ill of Fred the Godson because he was so genuine. He was just like us, you know what I mean? We laughing, all day long, cracking jokes and stuff. But he was a heck of a writer. His wordplay was crazy.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't heard of Fred the Godson, look him up. He was very, very good. And he was working with Joel Ortiz too. Joel Ortiz. Yep, Yawa. Joel would be in there a lot too, but Fred was there every single day. But yeah, we're gonna miss Fred, man. He was a good one.
Anybody else you work with that people might know?
I don't like the name drop, man. I truly don't, because it's man. You hear all this noise? I'm sorry.
Right.
This is like New York City too. You got all that noise for no reason. If we wasn't out here with microphones, this wouldn't be going on. It's like they pulling them right up behind us. I hope ain't nobody hurt back there. I hope everything cool. But they literally we can't see them because there's trees over there, but y'all hear them.
Yeah, we right beside the Army base too, because it could jump off at any moment, man. But yeah, man, I feel you on that. Not trying to name drop too much, man.
Right, yeah, it's tough, because then you get to forgetting people. And I shout out to everybody out there, who knows me. But I did recently do a song with Sadat X from Brand Nubian. He's real cool people. And I want to reach out to a few others that I know and do some work with. I got a new project that's going to drop in September. And I thought I was retired. I really did. I thought I was retired from the game. I was going to sit behind the scenes, and I wanted to coach people in the industry. I wanted to try to develop relationships and cultivate relationships and get them to that next level. But people don't believe, and I said, so with all of this information that I have, my creativity, you know what? I'm gonna just do it myself. I'll invest in me since nobody else wants to do this. I'll invest in me, and if I'm the only person to listen to it, I'll be happy. I don't care.
Hey, man, I feel you. I feel you on that.
I mean that.
What's a piece of advice, if you could give yourself any advice, if you could give any advice to the younger you?
To the younger me,
yeah.
I would have said, and is this broad information or information towards what?
Just a jewel that you might be able to use it like a reference book to just guide you through life. Sometimes you just pull it out and be like, oh, man.
If I could give myself, drop some knowledge on myself, I would have chose a different route for college, because I had out of high school I had a wrestling scholarship, and I thought I was going to go to Ohio State. Since I got second in the state, I'm going to say it right here, it was not officiated properly, and it has something to do, I think it had to do with color of my skin. Some people say, oh, it was because you're from Southwest Ohio. Nah. I was in the state finals against a kid from Solon, Ohio. He's a great wrestler, but I won that match. They didn't score it properly, and they cheated me. They cheated me. It wasn't cool. And I at the time, I truly didn't understand. I was like, I worked so hard, you know what I mean, to get to that point. My goal was to be a state champion. And that was his goal too. We were in the state finals, but I out-wrestled him. You should not be, as a kid, that shouldn't have been taken away from me. I'm over it, obviously. I'm over it, but
I'm about to say, man, we can always go to this house and just tee on him now. I'm sure he's not.
Nah, he's a good dude. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, man.
That was adults, again, systemic, However, if I could go back, I would have told my younger self to still go to Ohio State or go to OU. I should have stayed in state, but my feelings were hurt when Coach Hellickson told me. He said, our scholarship has to go to the state champion. So you have to be a state champion on paper, basically, in order to get the scholarship. He said, you qualify for financial aid. You can still go here. We'll have a spot for you. Da-da-da-da. Me not having that guidance, I didn't have anybody else to really talk to about that, to help me out in that situation. I just chose to bounce. I was like, I'm a forget y'all, I'm out of here, And I wish I would have slowed it down and probably just went on ahead, walked on that year, and then got a scholarship the next year, or went to OU, because OU had a full ride for me. OU had a full ride for me, but I didn't want to be in Athens. Like I said, I was young. We were young, and I'm making these decisions on my own. Yeah. But that's a bit of information that I would have given myself, the young Kool Ken.
I never wrestled, but I always wondered why must you be in a bodysuit to put your body on another man? It seemed like you would want as much protection as possible between you and another. What is that about?
Put your dukes up.
But this is wrestling, man.
Nah, this is about to be a fight.
No.
You about to get snuck.
Don't get mad at me. You chose to put on a leotard. But why? What is that about, man? We need some jeans on.
One thing again, it some jeans.
Something, man. I gotta have a thicker barrier.
You know what I'm saying? It's part of discipline, a part of confidence, and part of being on that stage by yourself. It's all about being a man. So you walk out there by yourself, win, lose, or draw, and people won't laugh at you because you got on a singlet, you got on this bodysuit that everybody afraid to wear, but you. So you got to walk out there with this on. You got to be in shape, whether you got muscles or not. You put on this suit, and you walk out there to perform. It's just a uniform. I don't know why they chose that uniform. I guess because they don't. It ain't a lot to grab. Yeah. So they, it's you wrestling, and it's not. Like I said, I've heard I can't wrestle no men, on top of each other like that. That ain't even in your mind, because it's not about that. It's about it's a sport of dominance for real. Where you like, get off of me. I'm not gonna let you pin me down to the mat. So again, that's a skill set that comes with a lot of work, because you can have somebody be big and strong and come out there and he don't have no training, he gonna get his back slammed out, like flat out. he gonna get dogged out. But once you train him, like you get somebody that has some discipline, and they can take that loss, learn from losing, and become a winner. And that's what I have to do. I have to learn from losing. My 7th grade year, I won one match.
Mm-hmm.
I won my first match and lost everything else.
Okay.
And but I was determined to not. I didn't want to be sorry, and I didn't want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't a quitter. Nowadays, people, they walk away from, oh, I lost, I quit. No, I wanted to prove that I could be good. And I do that to a fault to this day. You know, sometimes I'll continue, and it's about time. And eventually, you know, you get it. Eventually, you get it. But yeah.
You ever pooted just a little bit during a wrestling match?
No, I probably made somebody poop though.
Oh, okay.
You know, squeeze a fart up.
Squeeze a fart up out of him.
Probably, you know, but not me. You know, it ain't happened to me, man.
Oh man, what else you got, Vibe? You got something else? Squeeze the air out that boy.
It can happen, man. It could definitely happen. Trust me.
Man, I'm glad we got to talk about a lot of stuff, man. We kind of went through like everything, all the careers you done slid through and evolved into, man. How the music take you so many directions.
Yeah.
Any advice you want to give to anybody out there?
Keep doing it. You know, don't give up. Just keep doing it. You know, if you love it, just continue. It's not always about the money. Yeah. It's about, like we were saying, peace of mind, about being, you know, feeling good about yourself. Just don't give up. And just be positive. Be positive. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You don't always have to be that person who's the mean guy. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy that comes in and people leave. That's not the person you want to be. At least not for me. You know, where I go, you know, I think I'm a pretty decent person, you know. So I walk in a room and people gonna say hello. I say hello to everybody else, and it's good energy. You know, I'm not a cloud when I come in the room. It ain't no man. At least not that I'm aware of. I mean, when I leave, y'all might be like, boy, that
Nah.
Nah, but yeah, just be you. And just I tell myself this every single day, that I'm afforded the opportunity to wake up. You know, I say, you know, allow me to be a better person today than I was yesterday. Because yesterday, you know, it's gone. You can make some mistakes yesterday. And if it's a mistake that's not a life-changing mistake, a mistake that's not going to change the rest of your life, you know, for the worse, you know, you move forward from that and just be a better person. That's just my advice to everybody.
All right, we're gonna play a game called This or That. I'm gonna give you a couple choices. You're gonna tell me either this choice or that choice, man.
All right.
It's a beloved game on this show.
All right.
And yeah, I don't have all these things with me, so I'm gonna try to remember from heart.
I gotta give a shout out to Funky Bride. That's my brother. Shout out to him, Rich P, Land P. You know my peoples. You know what I mean. My sisters Kelly, my sister Keisha. Give everybody shout out. My mom, my father.
Yeah.
You know, I like to shout out my people. You know what I'm talking about?
Shout out to all my chicks, man. I see y'all in the nursing homes. I love a woman over 65. You could be on dialysis, anything, man.
Oh, man. You got sunglasses?
Do I have sunglasses?
Yeah.
Do I need some?
You might.
Well,
Somebody gonna give you a black eye, dog. You gonna have to cover them black eyes.
oh, man, come on, man. I'm trying to flirt with the women I like. Sing the songs I love to sing.
True.
I love them, man.
Yeah, we silly out
And
here.
y'all grandmas need any company, man. I'm putting some on them prescriptions. For sure.
Oh,
For sure.
you gonna put some on.
I might ice out a life alert.
Hey, where your shirt at? The one you had yesterday, man. The hoodie.
Gift God.
Yeah, man. It say what it say? My bae is your grandma.
Yeah, your grandma is my bae. That's the campaign I'm on right now, man.
Silly.
Yeah, man. I love a woman who still mix her cornbread with her greens by hand. And old people always got a little bit of food right there. I love that. You get an old woman, she always got a little bit of cornbread right here, or grits or something.
Grits. A little hot sauce on it.
And as I said before on the show, man,
This or that.
y'all got to start shaving your grandmothers. It's a lot of grandmothers out here with facial hair.
What the heck is all this police action? Hey, y'all, now they coming over here.
Nah, it might be a funeral procession or something.
Graduation?
I don't know what's going on, man. But we're going to try to get through this game real quick.
This or that.
This or that, man. Cookie or brownie?
Damn, that's a tough one, dog.
Starting out the gate with it.
OMG.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, man. So, you know they make a brookie.
A brookie?
Yeah.
Do you
the
think I
brownie
don't?
With the chocolate chip in it?
You think I don't?
Oh,
You think I don't know about a
brook?
brook?
Yeah. You can't make me choose one. That's one thing
Brookie?
brookie.
Oh, man. Yeah. Them brookies is a problem,
Ain't
too,
know I knew
boy.
nothing about that, did you?
Ooh, I
Yeah,
had
so
one.
brookie. You like them brookies? Yeah, brownie with the chocolate chip cookie in it.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
Fat man's
Hey,
drink.
y'all, if you can make one, send me some brookies.
Definitely.
But don't put no marijuana in it, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm tweaking out here, man.
Uh-oh.
Fresh Prince or Martin?
Come on, man.
I'm giving you the hard ones, bro.
Martin.
Yeah. Why? Why would you say?
Because at first I was confused. I was thinking you was talking about the person, the people. But
Okay.
I'm definitely choosing Martin.
More classic
Martin,
show.
yeah, the show. The show is a classic. Every show is hilarious. You know, with all the different characters that he played. Otis, he had Brumman in there on Fifth Flow. Dragonfly Jones.
Yeah. Martin made overacting.
Jerome. That was super funny.
It's like he created overacting and killed it, because I don't think we could ever see nobody overact like that again and it be funny like that.
He ain't created. He got it from somebody else.
But everybody was overacting in that show. Like,
yeah,
everybody.
But
Pam, Gina.
if you saw, you know.
Dramatic.
It took a while for us to get into and just make us believe in the character we were trying to act.
Martin was he studied Richard Pryor. You know, if you know anything about Richard Pryor and can go back on his shows and stuff like that, it was all similar stuff. But it was hilarious, you know, nevertheless.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Okay. Newport Kings or Newport 100s? I know you smoke them. Soft packer or a box?
Cools. I don't smoke neither one. Yeah, but if I did smoke, you know,
Benson and Hedges.
I would have to choose Cools. You know what I mean? Because, you know, spelled with a K like my name, Kool Ken.
Yeah,
Your
right.
boy.
With two handcuffs.
You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head.
It's silly, man.
Light skin, dark skin, and Viv.
Dark skin.
Why?
I don't know. I liked her because she was the original on there, I guess. So I was used to her, and then they brought the other lady in there. I just didn't get it.
I never
she
understand.
was cool. I didn't. Yeah, but it was like.
She was soft.
Yeah, it was different. But I liked the first one.
Favorite TV dad? Phil Banks, Carl Winslow.
Why you just choose them?
Who else am I?
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Hey,
Yeah.
I mess with that.
Yeah.
When he used to have that show where he used to be dropped. Well, he dropped a lot of knowledge on the Cosby Show too. But he used to have a show. I forget what it was called, man. But I see why they was after. He used to say some real stuff, man.
Yeah.
Back in the day on NBC.
That was a you know.
What type of show was it?
It was
Cosby Show.
Are you talking about
It might have been the cartoon, but he came in with like a monologue, and then it would go into the content.
Yeah. That was Fat Albert. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to say some stuff.
It wasn't the Cosby Mystery, 'cause he had
Yeah.
Yeah.
the first thing I saw.
I rock with Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
don't
man,
care
I
what
mess with Bill
nobody
Cosby,
say,
too.
man. Shout out to Bill Cosby.
Burrito or bowl?
Ha. Bowl.
Definitely, you get more food,
Yes.
man. You can make 3 meals out of that bowl.
Hey, you know, if they put the daggone burrito in the bowl, which I didn't know, but they put the burrito, they gonna give you more.
Yeah, that's how I should get it. I should get the
They give you even more. I couldn't even finish it all. Shout out to
Carbs
Chipotle.
on carbs on carbs,
I
boy.
actually take that back. No free advertisement.
Right. All right. Erase that off of there.
Yeah.
I can't remember them all. You remember another one? We're recording on my phone right now, so I can't see my phone to get out of this or that questions, man. Okay. If you had to choose a woman with a unattractive face but a banging body, or a banging face and an unattractive body, which one you choosing?
As long as she female.
So you take a big girl?
Depending on if I can lift her.
How much can you lift?
No more than 700.
Ooh, wee. Ooh, wee.
It's like, nah.
Oh, God. Like, you heard from Kool Ken? Nah, man, you got with that big girl. I ain't seen him since.
Nah, as long as I can lift. It's all right.
All right. Biscuit. KFC, Popeyes, or Cheddar Bay from Red Lobster?
Red Lobster. That's the biscuit I'm going with.
Big biscuits, man.
However, I put some honey on the Popeye biscuit. You know what I'm talking about?
You're going to need something. You need to
Facts.
dunk it in water first, too. You got to moisturize your esophagus and everything. You got to prepare for
you got to put some honey on it.
Huh?
You got to put some honey on it.
You definitely got to put some honey on it. If I could give you $1,000 or your best relationship back, which one would you take? 1,000 cash.
Best relationship.
Or the best relationship you done had.
Yeah, I take the best relationship back.
Why?
Cause then you get $1,000. That's gonna be gone tomorrow. I'm talking about.
You can invest
relationship. You can build from there and fix what you messed up. I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Or you could just buy you a couple chicks. How many times is 40 going to 1,000?
I know that's
You can play the odds a little bit more, man.
$40.
Increase your ratio.
$40.
But yeah, man, this is Nomtombout Radio, man. We've been back for another week, man. We're chilling here with Kool Ken. Never did that one before. That just came out. Yeah, man. We had him on the show, man. Talked about a lot today. We learned a lot about Kool Ken. And I want you to go ahead and plug your music again and tell them where they can find you.
You can find Kool Ken at Kool Ken Z15. That's KOOLZ. I'm tripping. KOOLKEN Z15. That's on all platforms. Just check me out, y'all. Rock with me. Go discover some new music that you can play around your kids. And it's versatile too, y'all. I got some music you can do like this too. Bob your head too, and bob your head forward, side to side. Just ride. I got ride music, really, for real. There's music that's thought provoking. You can listen to it. Like I said, while you're driving, I don't make music that's gonna slap in the club. Make music that'll slap you upside your head to provoke thought. It's gonna make you think. So it challenges you. All my music, you're not gonna like all of it because some of it can be a little preachy at times, sometimes. And I've been getting better with that. I'm not as preachy as I used to be, but still, it's gonna make you think. And we need some of that out there. So I appreciate you all for having me on the show today. Appreciate everybody who's watching and tuning in. Make sure you check out Nomtombout Radio with Blaze 6 and Vibe 1.
Yeah,
your
man.
boy Kool Ken. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, man. You heard it from him, man. Make sure you listen to each and every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on 91.7 WVXU, the HD2 FM station, or you can stream us live on radioartifact.com. Where can they find you at? Oh, man, I just forgot your name. That's crazy. I ain't even. Oh, that's disrespectful.
Nah.
I'm about to call you Ken, too. Jesus.
Yo, you can catch me on Instagram at Mr. Vibe1, VIBEONE. Facebook is VIBE-ONE. Twitter, Vibe1. E.S.A.ENT@gmail.com for any studio time, any production, any bookings. Also, the number 7, Watusi, WATUSI on Instagram, and the Watusi Tribe on Facebook. Yeah, peace.
Yeah, man. And make sure you follow the show, Nomtombout _radio on Instagram, NOMTOMBOUT _radio, or check us out on YouTube and Spotify at Nomtombout Radio. Nomtombout, NOMTOMBOUT. I also got some music out right now. Check out Oh My God. I'm in my alias, Ruff the Man Dog. I wasn't even supposed to reveal that, but that's my new alias, man. Also, check out the we got a video for that, Oh My God, and we also got a video for Just Like Me. Make sure you check out Just Like Me too, man. That joint is slapping right now, man. It's something you can dance to. It's got a funny message in it too. I always got to throw that in there. You can check me out on Instagram, Blaze6513. That's BLAZESIX513. Or you can check me out on my OnlyFans where I will be dirty winding for 2 hours straight. No stops. I'm a dirty wind till my legs give out. So make sure you. Where can they get the mask at? The Kool Ken. Kool Ken got personalized everything, man.
Yeah, I got personalized everything. Anybody want a mask? If you want a mask or a T-shirt, hat, whatever you want, hit me up. Again, Instagram, KOOLKENZ15. Put your order in. My PayPal is $KKZ15.
Yeah, man. And if you need a shirt, any of the ones you've seen me in, man, just holler at me if you need something exclusively made. Holla at me too, man. You can get at us on any of those platforms. Do you plug your music?
Me?
Yeah.
Go to Instagram and y'all see all my flyness. Okay? Do that. Facebook, you see all the flyness. We got 2 new Watusi singles out. Put picture videos to them that's going, directly correlating to what's going on today. One of them is called Wake Up. The other one is called Savages. And then also, as myself for my solo, I got a video that I dedicated to women called She Power. Check that out. And for real, I need to say thank y'all because in one day it got y'all made it go to 800 views. So I really appreciate that. I did it from the bottom of my heart, shouting out all the women in my family and women, period, especially women of color. But all women, but especially women of color, definitely for y'all. And I have the Sun Vibe project coming out with me and Sam Sun coming out real soon. The Watusi album is coming out real soon. The album's called In Case You Didn't Know. And then later this year, you got Uno Kenobi, my collaboration production album that I got a bunch of dope artists from the city on. The young heads and the OGs, collage together on one project. Super dope, super dope. More videos coming real soon. But like I said, Mr. Vibe One on Instagram, Vibe One on Facebook. And you can see everything I got going on. Music is everywhere. I got a bunch of music for the last 15 years. Just type it in on Google or go on YouTube under Vibe One, and you can check out everything that I got going on, all the music.
Yeah, man, this has been the Nomtombout Radio Show, man. Check us out next week. Like I said, 11 a.m. We're going to be right here, man. We ain't going to leave. We just going to stay here till you come back next week, man. So, yeah, man, shout out to all my geriatric bays. It's around 4:30, so I know you eating dinner, about to go to sleep, but I love you. I love you. It's sexier when you just whisper it. I love you. We out. Yo.